promotion got kicked out, but we didn't, and somebody's buying us drinks. Cheers.
Are we like Snapchat?
She thinks it's real. Hi there, wrestling lovers. It's me, Isa, the Demon Diva. If you're not doing so already, make sure you go follow me on Twitter and Instagram and check out my podcast, my blog, and the other videos that I have released this week for you guys. But today I'm very, very, very excited to be bringing the very first episode of this series because this is what actually inspired me to start the YouTube channel. Us wrestling fans, we are very passionate about attending their live events. I'm very blessed to live in an area in which they come quite often. Any events in the Brooklyn, New York, North Jersey area, I attend. Sometimes I try to venture out of my way if it's driving distance, and I have traveled outside of this area, gone to San Antonio, gone to a couple of WrestleMania. So I'm very excited to just share my experiences at the events. What I like the most, what I remember the best out of that event, what I could have done without, any highlights or fun stories from just attending these WWE events. And the very first episode comes to you today. So in honor of Extreme Rules, if you haven't seen my predictions, go check it out. Of course, I'm going to leave the link on the description below along with everything else, all of my content. But as I said, Extreme Rules is tonight. So the very first episode of Wrestling Adventures is going to be Extreme Rules 2016 because I was able to attend that event last year. It took place inside the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Now, some of the highlights that I remember about this event was taking my friend Brigitte, who's a co-worker, and she never watches wrestling, nor has she ever been to an event. So kind of like a social experiment, right? Literally, this is not a casual viewer. This is a non-existent viewer. But Brigitte is quite the social butterfly. She's very good at adapting, so I knew she would do well. I believe that she had a lot of fun. So it's really funny to look back at this and realize how much wrestling on its own has changed within the last year. There was no brand extension. It was the very first pay-per-view after WrestleMania. The main event was AJ Styles against Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Obviously, if I had to do three takeaways, my three favorite things about Extreme Rules in 2016 was, number one, the return of Seth freaking Rollins. Oh my god, the place went crazy for this. So earlier in the day, I have tweeted I am going to wear Seth's t-shirt in hopes of a return. So I was in heaven when this all happened, and it happened after an amazing main event. That was one of my favorite matches last year, especially seeing it live. AJ Styles and Roman Reigns on an Extreme Rule match. We also got another excellent match, which is another one of my highlights, so I'll talk about it shortly. But so the return of Seth Rollins, after watching that hell of a main event, we get Seth Rollins coming out, the place explodes. Which is really funny because maybe on a different wrestling adventure, I will talk about a live event that I attended at that exact same arena in July of the year before. And it was just funny how hated Seth Rollins was. I believe I was probably the only person in that building rooting for the guy. And it was kind of awesome because to see it go from there, same crowd, same atmosphere, to everybody on their feet for the man, I felt like, hey, told you so. You guys should have listened to me when I was the only one rooting for him, over a year ago. So, New Jersey, come on. So when Seth came out, the place exploded. It was like my friend Brigitte, who was already transformed into, well, not a wrestling fan, but she was having a blast. She took over my Snapchat. Just check it out.
For those of you tuning in from home, Seth just came out, and we are astonished because we thought he was injured.
She literally had to narrate for me because I lost my shit. I went crazy. It was one of those moments that I will always talk about when you talk about, tell me some of your favorite live experiences. It was just the return of Seth Rollins, the energy there, was amazing outside of, like a WrestleMania Royal Rumble event. That was one of the biggest pops and moments I remember, being able to attend live. So that was a highlight, especially, it's not like I'm a Seth Rollins fan or anything, right? So you guys know how I felt. Another thing that I loved about Extreme Rules was the Intercontinental title match that night was amazing. The Intercontinental title match was amazing. It was a fatal 4-way, and it was Kevin Owens, Cesaro, The Miz, and Sami Zayn, and they tore the house down. Please, if you haven't seen that match, go right now to the WWE Network. If you're having an Extreme Rules marathon today before the pay-per-view, which I hope you pause just to watch this video, go watch that match because it was to die for. I really, really liked it. The other thing that I really enjoyed about Extreme Rules last year, as I look up and down the card, it's actually going to be the experience of going with somebody that doesn't always watch and just see the transition, of not knowing what the hell was going on to just full on, and it could have been also the effect of the beers, but full on cheering and knowing the names. And, it was really, really awesome to see her reaction when the thumbtack spot happened during the Ambrose Asylum match. And, you can see all the thumbtacks on Jericho's back and he's bleeding, and check it out.
She can't get over the thumbtack. She said, "That's real." This is for our entertainment. This is some sick shit.
Brigitte also completely thought that Rusev had just broken Kalisto in half. That was a lot of fun. And one last highlight that I have, and this is not the event, the event itself, but the venue. I have a very good source for tickets, so I have never, this is the one and only time that I ever had an issue with tickets where somebody else showed up and they wanted our seats, and we were still in the pre-show. So, we were able to go to the ticket office, and then 2 more people show up and they have the same tickets, and apparently it was a Prudential error, but at this point we already have a beer in our hand. We are, we have watched Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin on the pre-show, so we're already in, we're screaming, we're in the mood, and now they're telling us we have to go. The other people that were there were like flipping out, and this is where Brigitte's social abilities, like probably being the only person that doesn't watch wrestling and wasn't too pissed off to put a sentence together that made sense, tell the girl, okay, so obviously we can go back to our seats. Is there anywhere else that we can go, even if it's a standing room only, just to finish watching this? And they literally made a VIP section for us. It wasn't a VIP section because it was a lot higher up than our original seats, but they threw 6 folding chairs for everybody that had the ticket error, and we were escorted by Prudential Center employees. The guys that were with us ended up buying us beers because, we kind of saved the night. They were about to tell us, finish your beer and go. And thanks to Brigitte and I persuading them, they, made a section just for us. Literally, it was like when you're coming between going up or down in the middle, they put like 6 folding chairs right there for us, and we were able to finish watching the event in the arena. So special props to Prudential Center for doing that, because I know that not everybody has this kind of experience when they have issues with their tickets. They literally have to go and you're kind of fucked. So that was really, really awesome. And, it was weird. Nobody really could figure out what had happened. If it was like an error with the scanning. There was a lot of errors going on that night and the way that the tickets were sold, but we didn't have to go anywhere and we got free beers from it. So that was awesome. Things that I could have done without, even though it sparked the best reaction from my friend, from not watching. I hated the Ambrose Asylum match. It went on forever. I remember feeling like, oh my God. I also remember getting up and skipping most of Natalia versus Charlotte. Eek. I felt bad, because it was Charlotte's first pay-per-view defense of the title, but I really didn't care for this. Like, you have Sasha and Becky and Charlotte have such a match at WrestleMania, and then that's the first person she's gonna defend it against. I've never been a Natalia fan, so that probably doesn't help, but it was funny because everybody was like, well, what did your friend think of the women? And I was like, I'm a horrible friend, because that's when I actually made her get up and go with me so we could go grab a bite. And that match was quite later on in the car, and we were already, had a few beers in, so we needed to get some food in our bellies. So we did get up. So I missed a lot of that, and that's when I got home and watched it, I didn't miss out on much. That's when Dana Brooke showed up at Ric Flair. Just a whole lot of shenanigans. I also remember not really caring for the tag team title match. I think it was the Vaudevillains against the New Day. But it was fun to dance to the New Day, especially when you're with somebody that hasn't seen that, and the unicorns and all that. So that was a lot of fun to see her react to that and dance to it. There was a tornado tag match on the beginning of the pre-show that we missed, so that kind of sucked. Apologies for the sirens. Yeah, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defeated the Usos, who later in the night showed up to kind of support AJ Styles and Roman Reigns. So that match we missed because we were dealing with the ticket thing. So, that kind of sucked. But overall, it's like very different to the card that we're getting tonight. But just the return of Seth Rollins at the end of the night made it worth everything. So, yeah. So like I said, this is going to be an ongoing show, and I'm going to be doing it about different events, pay-per-views, whether it's a live house show, whether it's a pay-per-view, a Raw episode, SmackDown episode. We're just going to go down the line to events, share some pictures, some videos, and some thoughts about it. Overall, again, because of the return of Seth Rollins, I hold Extreme Rules very dear to my heart. I could have gone tonight, but responsibilities. I didn't go. It's only in Baltimore. That's still considered what I consider driving distance. Let's go. But gotta be at work tomorrow, and that is kind of like a long drive to drive back when I work early in the morning. Sorry for all the jibbity jabba. But yeah, this is what inspired me to make this blog and this YouTube channel, was just to talk about experiences at live events. I'm very excited to just tell you guys and share some of the things that I have. Maybe some of them might be of pay-per-views viewing parties that I had at home that were so much fun that I want to, share with you guys. But yeah. The return of Seth Rollins, just the fact that I tweeted earlier in the night, I had his shirt on, my reaction. It was a very, very fun night, even though the card, probably not the strongest, but, just those two matches along and the return of Seth Rollins just made it worth everything. I always try to have a good time when I'm at a live event because, we're there, pay the ticket money, and the reason why I'm here, and you can kind of see by my videos that I more of a laugh, fun thing here, is because I like to think of wrestling as my escape from reality, right? This is my motto for wrestling. Special shout out to Kate on Twitter. I bought this from her, so I will link her info below. She makes a lot of really cool, awesome wrestling things, but wrestling makes everything better. Life is hard, so life is hard, life is serious, so that's not how I want to take my wrestling. I want my wrestling to be my escape. And at home is my escape, but when I walk into that arena, I turn into somebody else. I'm a big fan, and I just want to scream and have a blast with 15,000 people that are as passionate about this as I am. So, overall, I said Brigitte enjoyed her experience, and I don't know which event I will be talking about next. I might go over the last two SummerSlams, since they were right here in my hood, and I will be doing the repeat this year, hopefully not the last one in New York. Please, WWE, #keep SummerSlam in Brooklyn. I don't even know if that's a thing, but maybe I should start it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been to an Extreme Rules event, if you like the idea of the Wrestling Adventure show, if you're a fan that have attended any events. I might tweet out what I'm talking about next and maybe bring somebody in as a guest, get you guys to record a couple of clips on your overall thoughts. Like I said, I love interacting with everybody. If you want to interact with me, leave your comments below, tweet me. That's where I live on Twitter. I literally moved in, pay rent. That's where I'm at all the time, where you can find me. I will be live tweeting Extreme Rules tonight, maybe on Periscope. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I feel like this Extreme Rules is actually a little less predictable than last year's. So that's exciting. There's a couple of matches in there that, in my opinion, could go either way. So very excited about it. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I will be back this week with 100 subscriber contest. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you with the Extreme Rules after match. Mwah. Adios.